Hello there, how's it going? This is my 17th recording of the book Atomic Habits, and in this one, we will talk about Chapter 9, the role of family and friends in shaping your habits. This chapter begins with the anecdote of Laszlo Polgar, an Hungarian teacher, and his three daughters. I liked it so much that I included it in my notes. So let's talk about his story and then we'll talk about what the chapter is actually about. You can actually read the title and make an and get an idea. It's about how our family and friends influence our behavior, shaping our habits, how they influence what we do. And we'll talk about Laszlo Polgar. Who was Laszlo Polgar? He was an Hungarian teacher and he had a theory, a very interesting theory. Let's read about it. Laszlo was a firm believer in hard work. In fact, it was all he believed in. He completely rejected the idea of innate talent. He completely rejected the idea of innate talent. What is innate talent, first of all? Well, if you do some research on the internet, you will find there are people called prodigies. Prodigies. Now, prodigies are children who are so capable that they outsmart adults in fields. You can have prodigies in any field. You can have a prodigy chef. You can find a 10-year-old kid who can cook better than adults. You can find a 10-year-old programmer who can write better code than adults. And prodigies are very common in music. 10-year-old you can find pianist, violinist, guitarist, and you can find actors. For example, you can find child actors, 10-year-old kids who are better in acting than adults. So basically the idea of prodigies are children who are very talented talented in a field like acting, programming, cooking, and so on and so on. But Laszlo actually believed that these children they are not special. It is they were not born differently. They came in this world like everyone else. Now the reason these children are so talented is because they were taught this way and his idea was if he can actually teach his children and make them prodigies. So he was a firm believer in hard work and he completely rejected the idea of innate talent that people are not special. He claimed that with deliberate practice and the development of good habits, a child could become a genius in any field. His mantra was a genius is not born but is educated and trained. So his philosophy is explained in very simple words in the starting paragraph. So, how did he practice his philosophy? Well, he got married, he got himself three daughters, and he taught them chess at a very advanced level from a very young age. And long story short, all of them became very good at chess. As a matter of fact, his youngest daughter, Judith, is the one on the right. She became a grandmaster at the age of 15. Now, if you don't know what a grandmaster is, it is the highest rank in chess. You can't become more than a grandmaster, and people spend their entire lives practicing chess. They don't become a grandmaster, and through right teaching techniques, he was able to make his youngest daughter a grandmaster at the age of 15. It was a miracle, you can say, but not a miracle in a sense of innate talent, but in the sense of hard work. deliberate practice and the development of good habits. Now, the author of the book argues that one of the reasons he was able to taught his daughters chess is because he changed their environment. And what was environment is family and friends. Chess was a very common thing in the family. It was not something alien, for example. He designed the environment in a way that his daughters loved playing chess. They were not forced to play chess. It became their all-time obsession, you can say. And they played it all day, all night. They loved playing it like how people play video games these days. They just naturally got better and better and better to a point that his youngest daughter, although all of them became successful, but I only wrote about his youngest daughter. She became a grandmaster at the age of 15. So, so let's move on. The childhood the childhood of the Polgar sisters was atypical, to say the least. And yet, if you ask them about it, they claim their lifestyle was attractive, even enjoyable. So yeah, most people who study their life, they will say, wow, they had a very boring or very difficult and hard childhood because all they did was play chess. You can't become a grandmaster at the age of 15 by luck. All they did was play chess from a very young age. They started playing from 3 or 4 years old, and that's all they did. And from an outsider, this might look like a very bad childhood, but if you ask them, they would say they had a very good childhood because they loved to play chess. They were not forced to play it. He they, their father, Laszlo, presented chess in a way that it became their obsession. He didn't force them to play, that's the idea. In interviews, the sisters talk about their childhood as entertaining rather than grueling. They loved playing chess. They couldn't get enough of it. The Polgar sisters grew up in a culture that prioritized chess above all else, praised them for it, rewarded them for it. In their world, an obsession with chess was normal, and whatever habits are normal in your culture are among the most attractive behaviors you'll find. So that's the bottom line of the anecdote. Whatever becomes normal in your culture is the most attractive behaviors you'll find. So it's about culture, the people you associate yourself with. That's the culture. So if you have friends and family members who play chess, then you will be more inclined to participate in eh, to participate it as well. That's the idea. And how can we design our environment in a way that we will find the things we want to do attractive as well? We need to have good friends, and well, we can't change family, but we can have good friends so that we can also do the things that we want to do. So I guess this is it for this recording. In the second one, we can talk about this idea, the seductive pull of social norms. This is a very good idea. No, I don't think not this one. I think yeah, this one. This is quite a lot. And in the next video, we'll talk about the close, the many, and the powerful. These are three kind of groups we associate ourselves with. And yeah, we will go over the summary and so on. For now, I guess this is it for one video. Thanks. Looking forward to the next one.